Hello there. This is a short video to help you with triangle pose. It's a very commonly used pose in a yoga practice. It's a great pose for strengthening the legs, creating a beautiful stretch and sense of openness around the lower back when done correctly, and also giving you a nice stretch down the sides of the body and across the chest. One of my favourites. So you might want to have a block nearby because you might need one of those as we go through this. As ever, prop use is completely optional and you might prefer not to use them, it's fine. So we set up from the feet and the legs are going to be at least 3 feet, so 90 centimetres apart. Or if that feels like it's too close, which it would for me because I'm quite tall, I tend to go closer to 1 leg length between my feet. Okay. So from here, we start by turning, let's say, the left toes out first. And much like the warrior 2 position, the heel is aiming to line up with the arch of the right foot, and the right toes either point forward or slightly in. We're trying to square the hips towards our front, wherever we're facing, as best we can. However, if that proves a little bit uncomfortable, if you feel it wrenching on your lower back, it may be that you just need to scoot this right foot forward a small amount so that you can get a better squaring effect. We've got active feet. We lengthen down through the sit bones and the arms are long. The first movement for triangle actually comes from the hips. So from this side, the hips would kick out to the right side, and as the hips kick out to the right, the ribs stretch out to the left. So we're aiming, in fact, to keep the length of the spine constant as we lean over the left leg. Now, if you're very tight through the hamstrings and the inner thighs, this might already be quite intense. So it might be that you take a small bend into this knee so that you get a little bit more hip movement. You see which works best for you, it's fine. When there's no more tilt of the hip and reach of the ribs, we just land the hand on the leg. And it's going to land below or above the knee. We avoid pressing onto the knee just to avoid over-pressurizing the joint. If you're a little bit closer to the floor, but not quite at the floor, you might want to use your block. Okay. Now that just might allow you to find a little bit more length again in this underside of your ribs. So you could rest on the leg, you might rest on the block. Either way is always fine. Now once we're in the pose, we keep the active feet. We keep the leg muscles drawn up, and we keep the sit bones drawn slightly down, and it's that sit bone drawing down that will really give you that beautiful feeling of stretch around this top side of the hip. Now as we open up here, notice what's happened, and the underside of my waist is scrunched. So we take a moment to relax the ribs down. We're talking triangle pose, there's no curvy lines in a triangle. Okay, so we try and lengthen everything out, prioritizing the length of the spine. The arm then reaches up, it's in line with the shoulder, so the collarbones are nice and broad. And there's a feeling here, folks, that we're in between 2 panes of glass. What will sometimes happen is that in our efforts to get really close down towards the floor, and I've got to touch my foot, all those sort of thoughts going on, what will often happen is that we'll scrunch down, we'll rotate the chest to the floor, we're trying to touch the floor, and actually then we've lost any of the benefit of the stretch. So in actual fact, by keeping the arm on the leg and just lengthening, as I say, down out through those sit bones to have that feeling of being between 2 panes of glass nice and evenly, that is how we create the openness and the stretch. To come out of a triangle, you'd always bend the knee a little bit and then come on up. So it just relieves some of the pressure from the lower back area before you lift back up and out. Try it on the other side, see how you feel. You will have one side that's a little bit more open than the other, so you might not go as far on one side as you do on the other. And that's absolutely fine. That's the great thing about yoga. It's learning more about your body and then edging towards your new ranges when your body is ready. I hope you found this helpful. Do let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you very soon.